All right, boys and girls. Today we are going to use a smartboard lesson so that you can learn about the life in colonial Virginia, and you'll know you'll have it when you can describe how people used food, housing, and clothing in their daily activities. All right. So, people living in colonial Virginia depended on natural, human, and capital resources to produce the goods and services they needed. So, what are these resources? And I know you've heard about these in the past. So, this right here should be just a little bit of a review for you. So, natural resources are things people use that they find in nature. They're natural, like apples. Human resources are people who work and provide a good or service, like a baker. And a capital resource are tools people use to make another product, like a hammer carpenters use to build a house. So that would be a capital resource. All right, so let's think back long ago. People couldn't just go to Walmart and buy what food they wanted, right? So their food choices in the colony were limited. Meals were always made from local produce and meats from animals that they raised or either animals that were hunted out in the wild. So housing. Most people lived in one-room houses with dirt floors. Some farmers lived in large houses, but it was very few. Clothing. Households made their own clothing. Most clothing was made of cotton, wool, and or leather. Which materials? We're going to match these materials with their natural source. So if you look at a cow and a pig, what would that be made of? What material would a cow and pig make? Would they make cotton, wool, or leather? Yeah, leather comes from cows or pigs. Look at this plant here. It has white balls on the end of it. What do you think that would make? You were right. It would make cotton. And what about sheep? That's right. We get wool from sheep. All right. Most white Virginians made their living from the land as small farmers. A few owned large farms called plantations. Most enslaved African Americans worked tobacco fields or other crops and livestock or animals. Enslaved African Americans had no rights. Many free African Americans owned their own businesses and property, but they were still denied most rights. All right, boys and girls, for the next activity, you are going to use this video as well as your VS.4 study guide to complete the activities on the Class Kick page.